Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, from the last two or three topics, we are studying about the metals and the non-metals. So today we will discuss about the chemical properties of the metals. Dear students, chemical properties of the non-metals. We will discuss the important chemical properties of the metals one by one. First of all, a reaction of the metals with oxygen. Metals react with the oxygen of the air to form metal oxide. Metal plus oxygen gives metal oxide, and these metal oxides are basic in nature. Basic in nature. Metallic oxides are basic in nature. That means when these metal oxides react, these metal oxides, these are basic in nature. That means they turn a red litmus solution blue. They turn red litmus solution blue. So dear students, if we will take an example of a metal, for example, we will take the example of a metal, for example, magnesium plus oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide. It forms magnesium oxide. Here magnesium metal does not react with oxygen at room temperature, but on heating magnesium metal burns in air, giving intense heat and light to form basic oxides called magnesium oxide. So dear students, we can also perform this reaction of when we burn magnesium ribbon in with the help of the oxygen, metallic oxide, that means magnesium oxide is formed. Magnesium oxide is formed. Since heat is required for the reaction of the magnesium with oxygen, it means magnesium is less reactive than sodium or potassium. uh, we can also for this, when magnesium oxide is formed, if we dissolve this magnesium oxide powder solid, then we dissolve it in water, that means liquid, it forms MgOH whole twice, magnesium hydroxide. It's also a base. Magnesium hydroxide, it's a base. Dear students, we can also take more examples of the metals. These metals react with oxygen. For example, aluminium. If we take an example of another example, aluminium, this aluminium react with oxygen. Oxygen gives aluminum oxide, Al2O3. When we this balance, 3 times oxygen, 4 times aluminum, that means this, when aluminum metals burns in air on heating to form aluminum oxide. uh, this is also another example of the reaction of metals with oxygen. There are more metals. If we, for example, if we take the zinc metal, it also burns in only zinc metal, and zinc metal also burns. Zinc metal also burns. Dear students, the second reaction of the metals with metals. Metals react with water to form metal hydroxide or metal hydroxide or metallic oxide and hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. And then if we take example, metal plus water gives metal hydroxide plus hydrogen. If we take an example, for example, sodium metal reacts vigorously with cold water, forms sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. If we take sodium solid 2 times plus water gives twice NaOH aqueous plus H2 gas plus heat. It's an exothermic reaction. It forms sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. Sodium metal plus water gives sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. If we take another example, calcium solid plus water liquid. That means calcium reacts with cold water to form calcium hydroxide, CaOH whole twice plus H2 gas, hydrogen gas. Yeah, that means calcium reacts with cold water to form calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. It's a reaction of the metals with water. The third important chemical property of the non-metals are reaction of the metals with dilute acids. That means metals react with a dilute acid, then a metal salt and a hydrogen gas are formed. That means if we write the general reaction, metal plus dilute acid, it gives metal salt plus hydrogen gas. For example, sodium metal reacts violently with dilute acids to form sodium chloride and hydrogen gas. Na solid plus hydrochloric acid aqueous, it gives NaCl aqueous plus H2 gas. That means when sodium reacts with hydrochloric acid, it forms sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is a salt plus hydrogen gas is released. So these are the some general chemical properties of the metals. Another general chemical property of the non-metal is reaction of the metals with salt solution. That means metals in the metals react with and there's when a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metals from itself, as we have also studied in the displacement reactions. A more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from its solution. So generally metals, a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal from its solution. For example, if we take copper sulfate solution, if we react the zinc with it, it also forms zinc sulfate plus copper sulfate.